right, everybody, get ready, because we're going deep today. Diving into the surprisingly complex world of, you ready for this? Paper.
Paper.
Paper. Yep, I know it seems, well, simple, right? But trust me, there's way more to it than meets the eye, so buckle up. Today, we're zeroing in on this crucial role, a bleacher operator.
No, that's a job title you don't hear every day.
Exactly, and that's why we're here, right? Most people probably don't even think about how that crisp white sheet of paper comes to be.
You mean it doesn't just magically appear?
Sadly, no. It's all thanks to these bleacher operators working behind the scenes, seriously. They're the ones making sure that wood pulp we start with, that brown stuff, well, it transforms into that blank canvas we all rely on every single day.
It's kind of like magic, but with more, science.
Totally. And get this, I was going through this RoleCatcher career guide, fascinating stuff, and it turns out bleaching, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
Oh, really? I just assumed, well,
Nope. There are all sorts of techniques, different types of wood pulp, and it's all carefully chosen to create those perfect shades of white, the ones we barely even notice.
Huh. You're right. I never really considered that. It's like you go for picture paper, you expect a certain white, right?
Yeah.
And then there's that super bright white for like when you want fancy invitations or something.
Exactly. And guess what? Bleacher operators, they're the masterminds behind all of it.
So they're like, what, paper wizards?
Pretty much. They have to factor in everything. I mean, will this paper become a glossy magazine? Or maybe it's destined to be sturdy cardboard. Each type needs a specific level of whiteness, and these guys, they make it happen.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure. I never thought of paper as such a high-stakes game.
Right. It's like they're controlling this giant chemistry set, but with, really high consequences if something goes wrong.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Don't try this at home, folks. I was reading that they work with some pretty intense chemicals, too. They're definitely not something you want to mess with.
Seriously. The career guide even mentioned, safety precautions and everything. It's clear this is serious business.
Which makes sense. I mean, you think about it, working with those kinds of substances, it's all got to be about minimizing any environmental impact, too, right?
Absolutely. And that's where the whole sustainability thing comes in. Bleacher operators nowadays, they're not just chemistry whizzes. They're also on the front lines of making sure things are done responsibly.
Right. It's like, how do we get this perfect shade of white, but also keep things clean and, not mess up the planet?
Exactly. It's about minimizing waste, managing those potentially hazardous materials. It's all part of their job description now, which, by the way, is creating a ton of new career paths within this field, too.
Interesting. So it's like responsible bleaching is the new frontier.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's amazing how much this whole thing ties into the bigger picture. Like, who knew making paper could be so, I don't know, important?
Right. It's not just about the chemistry. It's about the impact, both on the environment and the job itself.
Exactly. And speaking of the job, this RoleCatcher guide, it goes into the whole career path of a bleacher operator. And honestly, I was surprised there's a lot of room to grow in this field.
Yeah, it's not like you just learn one thing and that's it. You're a bleacher operator for life.
Right. It's not a dead end, which I think some people might assume.
You can start at the bottom, gain experience, really learn the ropes, and work your way up to senior roles with a lot more responsibility.
It's like mastering those initial skills is just the beginning.
Exactly. It's about continuously learning, facing new challenges, always leveling up your game.
And the guide actually gives some examples of what that looks like day-to-day stuff at different stages of your career,
Yeah.
Like a junior bleacher operator. They might be running the equipment, making sure everything's going smoothly.
Yeah, making sure the gears are turning, the chemicals are flowing, all that good stuff.
Right, and troubleshooting if something goes wrong.
Oh, there's always something, right? Every job has its curveballs.
Totally. But then, as you gain experience, you might move into a role where you're overseeing the whole bleaching process.
Right, like you've graduated from just running the equipment to being the maestro conducting the whole orchestra.
Exactly. You might even be training new operators.
Passing on that hard-earned wisdom, becoming the Yoda of bleaching.
Or even collaborating with, production managers to make the whole system even more efficient.
See? There you go. It's a real career with room to grow and specialize.
And it seems like getting certified could be a big help with that.
Oh, absolutely. Certifications are huge. They show you're serious, that you've got the knowledge and skills to back it up.
It's like a stamp of approval, right? Proof you know your stuff.
Exactly. It shows dedication and that you're keeping up with the latest advancements in the field.
Which, let's be real, in a field like this, with technology constantly evolving, that's got to be important.
Oh, yeah. Gotta stay ahead of the curve, right? The guide even mentioned online courses, workshops, anything to keep learning.
So it's like you never really stop learning in this field,
It's a lifelong journey, my friend.
which is kind of cool, actually. Okay, so let's say someone's got their sights set on becoming a bleacher operator. They're prepping for an interview. How can RoleCatcher help them, besides the whole amazing resume thing?
Well, this is where their AI tools come in. Super handy stuff.
All right, you've got my attention. Lay it on me.
So they have this huge database of potential interview questions, right? But here's the thing. It's not just a random list.
Oh, so it's tailored, like custom made for this specific job.
Exactly. The platform actually analyzes the job description, the specific one you're applying for, and figures out what questions are most likely to ask.
Whoa, that's next level. So you walk into the interview knowing exactly what's coming.
It's like having a cheat sheet, but, totally legal and way cooler.
Okay, I'm sold. But how do they do it? How do they know what each company is going to ask?
Data, my friend. It's all about the data. RoleCatcher analyzes job specs, industry trends. They even look at company profiles.
So they're basically doing the detective work for you.
Pretty much. They're figuring out what employers want, what they're looking for in a candidate, and then they use that info to give you super targeted feedback.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like having a personalized career coach in your pocket. Seriously, it's like having a secret weapon for your career. This whole deep dive, honestly, it's been eye-opening.
Right. Who knew there was so much to, paper?
I know Bleacher Operators, they're like the unsung heroes of, well, everything.
Think about it. The books we read, the packaging we see everywhere, it all goes back to them.
And the drawings our kids make, I mean, that's important too. It makes you appreciate that clean white sheet of paper so much more.
Definitely not taking it for granted anymore.
Me neither. Well, folks, that's a wrap on Bleacher Operators. Hopefully you learned something new today. And hey, if this deep dive sparked your curiosity, check out RoleCatcher. They've got the inside scoop on all sorts of career paths. It's seriously impressive.
And they keep it real. No sugarcoating, just straight up advice and insights.
Exactly. They're all about empowering you to make informed decisions about your future, whatever that may be. All right, everybody, until next time, keep those brains buzzing, and we'll catch you on the flip side.